All right, I thought this would make a pretty good idea for a video. Earlier on this week, I sent out a tweet asking for you to record some video clips for me of you predicting your top scorer, how you felt the transfer window's gone so far, who the player of the season is likely to be, and where you think Bristol City are going to finish. And, well, I've not been disappointed. We've got 5 fans here who are going to tell you their opinions.
Hi Tom, thanks for letting me share my thoughts with you. I think we've had a decent transfer window so far. I think we can definitely still improve, but I think that the signings we made already with Emil Rees coming in, obviously he's a proven championship striker, and I think that he will be our top goal scorer this season. And also bringing in Adam Randall, I think he brings versatility in that midfield, and I think good competition for the rest of the players in that squad. Also with Lumley, I've been proven to say that I think that he's a good sign, and I think that sometimes it's about building that squad, not just the first team. And I think that Lumley is an improvement from what we've had before as backup goalkeeper. And I think that we will see him add certain elements, either his personality, just like Cohen does, or his sort of values and experience is what we are lacking in. And I think that he's a great addition. Obviously, I'd love to see a new goalkeeper come in, but I think realistically we're not going to see that happen, especially I know that Max is out, but when he comes back he's going to be number one. It's just, I don't see us getting a new keeper in. I would like to see us bring in a new fullback. I think the guy we've been linked to from Cologne is going to be a good option for us. Obviously the element that is always going to be a worry, and I think that probably this is how Bristol City operate, is that we don't want to bring in new players when players are injured and then them come back and then it brings some sort of bitter taste in their mouth and disrupt the squad a bit. So I kind of understand that from a squad perspective, but I think one more fullback would be good, and I'd like to see another centre forward, but I don't think we'll see that. So I think we'll maybe see one more player. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mayulu, because from what I've seen on the YouTube training clips, I know you can't really take them all too seriously, but I think he still doesn't look quite sharp, and I think the idea of having Sinclair Armstrong and Emil Rees being our main 2 options up there, with most likely going to be playing 2 up front, is a bit worrying. So it'll be interesting to see who else can work alongside Rees. But yeah, I'm feeling quite optimistic this season. I hope that we're back up fighting for the playoffs, but I think it won't be as easy this year. I think it's going to be a really good watch. The championship is going to be so competitive, so I'd be happy to be around that position around the playoffs and see where we go and see if we can take that one step further. And I think that we'll be reliant on players like Mark Sykes and other players like Max Bird stepping up. Obviously we need the goals from Emil Rees as well, and people keep them fit. I think that's probably the hope for most City fans out there, is just hoping that the first team can keep fit. But I think Mark Sykes and Yu Hirakawa will be the 2 players that hopefully this season we'll see a lot of and could be pivotal and important players for us. And obviously good old Jason Knight, let's pray that he stays.
Right, next up we've got my mate James, who also runs his own podcast. So you'll see on his clip, you'll see his X handle. Give him a follow on there. I'll also leave a link to his podcast in the description as well.
So for this coming season, the transfer window is obviously still open. There's still a few days or a few weeks to go in the transfer window. I think so far, I think we've done pretty good business. I think bringing Randall in from Plymouth was good business. Rees coming in from Preston could be a good signing. Unfortunately, we won't know until the season starts, or at least a friendly start, and we sort of get a glimpse of how the team sets up and how the team plays under Struber. So, but yeah, so far so good. I think Stokes win next season. I think he can kick on with us next season, which would be good. And Atkinson signing a new deal as well is a good bit of business as well, and hopefully he can stay injury free and kick on his Bristol City career. Player of the season for next season, I mean, who knows at the moment. I mean, Jason Knight was extraordinary last season, so hopefully he stays with us and kicks on again this season. That'd be good. If he can progress on last season, that'd be amazing. Only downside then he's got a lot of suitors coming for him, but I'm going to go for Knight again just because of his reliability and his fitness levels and the way he stays fit. It's brilliant. So I'm going to go for him. Top goal scorer this season. I mean, that's a tricky one, that is, isn't it? I think it all depends really. If Mayulu is with us when the season starts, I'm going to probably put myself down and be shot down here, but never mind. I think there's a player there. I think if Struber can get a tune out of him, then I really do think we might see a good season from him this season. And I think that the goal scoring this season is going to be crucial to where we finish. I think Struber sort of promised us sort of attacking, sexy football, which we shall see if that happens. But if it does, fantastic. I'm going to go for an 8th place finish this coming season, although I hope as much as anybody else that we're back up in the playoffs. And if the team gels and the front line clicks, then I think a playoff position is possible. At the moment, I just think until we see how it's going and who stays fit, obviously Max being out is a bit of a downer for a few months, but it's a good chance for somebody else to step in and sort of claim a shout for first choice goalkeeper. So yeah, exciting times, and I look forward to seeing what happens this season. Cheers.
All right, next up we've got Fred the Red, young lad who I noticed followed me on Instagram the other day, and I thought he'd be a perfect candidate to take part in this video. He's got a really cool Instagram and TikTok page, so you'll see in the video clip I'll advertise his Twitter Twitter, TikTok and Instagram next to him. You can check them out.
Hi everyone on the Robber's Nest YouTube channel. My thoughts on the transfers. Obviously Randall's got some very good potential as a young midfielder, and Reece, he's hard, big, scores goals, exactly what you want from a footballer and a striker. I think our top goal scorer will be Reece unless we bring another striker in, another proper striker, and that's what we should be doing. I think we'll finish high like last season because we haven't done anything different to last season so far, have we? If we just do the same as last season, we should get even higher, obviously bringing in a striker. So, and I think my player of the season will be Jason Knight. He's just unbelievable player, should be Premier League level, and is a great midfielder. So bye everyone.
All right, next up we've got Luke Morrissey. Take it away, Luke.
So, predictions, player of the season. Who do I think we can have player of the season? I actually think Mehmeti might do something, or you. I think one of them two are going to be standout performers for us under Struber's sort of way he has teams playing. Goals, top goal scorer, Emma Reece. It's got to be. If he was bagging for Preston, you think with the service that we can give him, he's going to hit more and more than Naki Wells. I can almost guarantee it. As for the transfer window so far, didn't actually start out too bad. Couple of astute signings in Reece and Randall. Joe Lumley's a little bit weak for me. Not really what we needed. We needed a top class number one coming in to really shake things up. And I think we still need that now with the fact Max O'Leary is now injured. The big other one is going to be Cam Bring's replacement as well. We're going to need someone to really come in. And that side need a bolstering anyway. So it only makes it even bigger now, the fact that he's injured. So I'd say if we went and got a top quality keeper and top quality left sided defensive player, we've done well. We've done well in this window.
Finally, we got Cohen and Ricky. Ricky's gone for a little bit longer than the rest of them, but he's gone really in depth about his opinions and reasons behind them. So I thought I'd leave that for the end of the video, so there's a bit more of a detailed one as well. So take it away, Cohen and Ricky.
Hello, Robin's Nest YouTube channel. My thoughts on the transfer window so far this season. Joe Lumley, unfortunately on the worst end of our business. Bolton as a backup, unfortunately doesn't look like he will be playing as a backup due to Max's injury. So I do still think we need to strengthen in that area. Randall, for I think it was 750k was his release clause. I think absolute bargain that was to get someone of his calibre in. And then Emma Reece on a free, you can't really complain about that one. He will score you goals. Which gets me on to my top goal scorer. I think Emma Reece will be our top goal scorer. I think give him service in the box and he will put it in the back of the net, as simple as that. My player of the season, I think Yu Hirakawa. I think if Struber does play with wingers, I think he will be absolutely integral. Get loads of goals, loads of assists, I can just see it already. Brilliant for Japan when he plays out there. And then for our final league position, I will say mid-table around 12th, 11th. Just because I feel other sides have strengthened a tad bit more than we have. So yeah, 11th it is.
Hello everyone, my name is Ricky Hodge, and here's some of my thoughts on the transfer window so far. So I think in terms of a scale rating, I'd probably rate it around a 6 out of 10. I think in Emil Rees Jacobson, we've got a proven championship goal scorer. Obviously with a pedigree of sort of like between 10, 15 goals, sort of regularly in a sort of mediocre, struggling Preston North End side. So I think a really good proven goal scorer at the level. I think in Adam Randall, we've got someone with good Champions experience, experience of being a captain, and, you know, good energy, and again, good depth for that midfield area, really, where we, you know, quite often get injuries. I think in Joe Lumley, obviously the club have acted and tried to sign him in the capacity of a sort of backup keeper. Unfortunately, Max has got injured now, so it looks as if he's going to be our number one. For me, I'm not too sure on that. Looking at stats and things I've looked at and haven't seen him play. But again, we have to go with it. In terms of obviously incomings, further incomings, I'd love to see another striker. I do think we need something else up there. I think a left back, obviously with Pring out injured now, is a must. Elijah Morrison, again, seems like an excellent young player, but without the experience, if we want to push on, I think we do need to delve into the market. And ideally another goalkeeper as well, but I can't see that happening. So for me, a 6 out of 10 at present. I think for my top tip for player of the season, it's got to be Jason Knight. You know, captain, leader of the club, looked like he might be going, but that seems to have, you know, publicity and sort of speculation seems to have died down. So it's fantastic for us as a fan base to have him, and for the club to have him still as our captain. Involved in every minute last year, combative player, as we know, you know, breaking up attacks, putting us on the front foot. Probably doesn't get as many goals as he warrants, but for me, it's got to be Jason Knight. I think an outside tip might be Yu Hirakawa, though. Really sort of impressed with sort of what I've heard of and seen in the mini clips for pre-season. I think with Struber, it's a kind of new lease of life for him, where he'll be maybe utilised in his main role, which might be wide right, as opposed to front three. That remains to be seen, but I do think you will have a really good season, and I for one think that he will, like I say, have that breakthrough season this year. In terms of position and where we'll finish, I think, you know, Struber's obviously got to have some time to develop his playing styles. I think, you know, we as a club, we as a fan base have to give him time. You know, we finished fantastically well last year. To get into the playoffs was an unbelievable feat. You know, I think we're going to have to be patient, though. I think we're not going to hit the heights that we did last year. I think we're probably going to be somewhere around 9th to 12th, sort of back to the sort of grind for us. But who knows? I mean, if Struber can hit the ground running and the players can, you know, sort of settle well into his playing style, who knows? We could potentially push, but I do think realistically it's a 9th to 12th finish. Recruitment of other clubs in the league has been quite strong. Teams that probably will be battling for the playoff places, and of course with the 3 coming down, you know, they're always going to be strong. So for me, it's a 9th to 12th finish. You know, will I be happy with that? Not really, but it looks like, you know, we're not really making too many more marquee signings this year. So I think with what we've got, our injury sort of luck, I think it's 9th to 12th for me. My top tip for top goal scorer this season is Emil Rees Jacobson. I think, you know, naturally we needed to replace Naki. Naki had a fantastic season last year. Gutted to see him go, but I think with Emil Rees, he will give us something different. Scores a variety of goals, quite often in the box, is in the right position. So I think with the wide players we've got, I think that he will be a real threat for us this season. And I think, you know, we could see him push on past 15, I think, this year. I do think Sykes and Mehmeti, obviously if we do manage to keep hold of Sykes and Mehmeti, and they do stay, I think they're going to be pushing double figures as well. And I am sort of keen to see Fally kind of make a second impression on us, really. I think, like, you know, obviously all of us thought, you know, what have we done here when we saw him on the pitch last year. But I think a fresh new set of eyes, maybe some fresh sort of ideas with him. You know, I think we could see him kick on as well. So it'd be nice to see him play more minutes and contribute to the goals. So I think Rees for me, with sort of maybe Sykes, Mehmeti, Fally hitting double figures, that'd be perfect.
All right, well, hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, thank you to everyone who took part in the video. I've left a link to everyone's social media in the description. Let me know what you think of their thoughts in the comments below. The only thing I'd say, right, these people are guests on the channel. You can insult or whatever me all you like, but please, these people are guests. They've taken time out of their day to kindly contribute to this video, so don't be horrible to them about their opinions in the comments. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like rating, subscribe to the Robin's Nest channel, which should be just here on your screen, and I'll catch you in my next video.